Something we do every day can make or break our relationships, and that is conversation. How can we be better at it? Well, Lou Diamond is the author of this book, which is entitled Speak Easy, Connect with Every Conversation. And Lou joins us now with 5 tips for better conversations. Oh, Lou, were you always good with this? Were you always a good talker?
I think ever since I came out of the womb, I started to have a conversation with somebody. So yeah, pretty much from day one.
But it's hard for some people, and I think the perfect launch here is to start with the first point, which is you've got to be yourself. Now, we tell people that all the time, but sometimes people don't feel secure in being themselves, right?
It's really interesting if you think about it. All the times we have conversations, we have emulated other people. You as a interviewer and a broadcaster have interviewed or imitated people like Oprah or Larry King, and we see these people and we like their style or certain things that they do when they have a conversation with someone. But the reality is the best version of us is the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
So when we own who we are, how to be authentically who we are, that is what people want to connect with. And our purpose of every conversation you have is to make a connection. So being you is at the epicenter and to the starting point to make sure you can be great in your conversations and make the connection.
Yeah, because only you can be the best you. I can only be. There's nobody else like me. Nobody else like you.
There is
right?
nobody like you.
Right,
Absolutely.
there's nobody
You are
like me.
unique, Paula.
All right, Lou, you got to make it fun at some point. You say even if we're having a business conversation, you have to have some moments of lightness.
If you make it all business, I guess, what do they say? You know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Well, that is true in conversations too. We want to inject a little bit of humor, lightheartedness, a little bit of energy to lift the air a little bit. You want to do this for 2 reasons. One, it is who you are as an individual too, to be a little funny and make light of the situation, but also to recognize that at work or in a serious conversation, we want to have fun. That is what we engage with because we want to have more conversations. So you know the next time you speak with someone, fun is going to be along. We call it Fun Street in the Speak Easy book.
Fun Street. You want us to show up. So here's some tips for how to be in a conversation. You have to pay attention. Listen, learn, ask questions.
It's even more than that. It's actually the whole way you need to be in a conversation is to be focused, bring the energy to the table, and try to make that connection. And the way you have to do that, it's like turning on the light when you go on the air, Paul. It's the same exact idea in a conversation. Lift the energy a little bit. Show up. Be attentive. Focus on who you're speaking with and focus on the conversation and make the person you're speaking with the most important person in the room. That is who you're trying to make a connection with. So show up every single time. I even stress the word up and lift it up as you do it as a good way to remember how to do it.
You make a point about confusion, that it's the enemy of conversation, because sometimes we're not clear, and you really have to focus on that. So people like to end things now with blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right? Clarity is key, Paula. The more clear we are, and sometimes someone says, clarity over cute. Sometimes we may go into a long story to tell someone more details about something. Being concise and clear, and one of the ways that I say this is to be brief, be bright, and be gone. That's the way you should have every conversation, and keep that clarity and that bright component of your message so your point is well heard and communicated in your conversation throughout your conversation. It's an easy way to remember. Stay focused so you don't kind of go on and on and on and ramble too long.
Point number 5, connect by finding common ground. Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
You can talk about the weather.
Well, well, it depends where you are, but I also think the common ground is also a great way to tap into what someone else's interests are. I love thinking that a conversation is stepping into someone else's world and seeing what they're all about. So you're kind of like getting a slice of what their world is about. And a lot of times we have commonalities. That's where we're going to have the most connection and the most things to talk about. So try to gear your initial conversations, especially when you're meeting someone for the first time. That's a great way to figure out where that common ground is and where we feel most comfortable with another individual in a conversation.
So we're going to end with Speak Easy. That's your book. How's it been doing, by the way?
Well, it launches on September 27th, so we're in pre-sales right now. So everybody's ordering it, but it's looking really good. A lot of people are interested. And it's been a lot of fun because I speak and I have a popular podcast program that people listen to. So Speak Easy has been a big topic of conversation the last couple of weeks and leading up to the launch for sure.
Well, Lou, you've done a great job in explaining this, and I think it's kind of a struggle for some folks. So thrivelud.com is where we can find you. The power of connecting, boy, that's what it's all about in this life, isn't it?
Well, that's what we did. We made a connection here today through a great conversation.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, and it's all because of you, Lou. So.
I know it takes two. It takes two to make that conversation, right?
Okay.
That's what it always takes.
Even over Zoom, and that's an extra challenge. But thanks, Lou. It was such a pleasure to meet you. Thanks.
Absolutely, Paula. Thank you for having me.
Bye bye.